Welcome to join me on the 6:15. I'm Kejang Henry Atimbe. Our top stories. Bill tables at the National Assembly for scrutiny. The bills were communicated by the second Vice Speaker of the House during a plenary this Monday. And candidates for the just ended presidential election continue to fall apart with political parties that invested them for the race. We're going to get updates on the recent divorce. And Yaoundé, like many other metropolises in the country, gripped by hike in the prices of basic commodities. And despite government's assurance to stabilize the situation, the surge is still suffocating to many households. Top stories. Thanks and welcome. If you are joining us, you can still hook up with us on our respective platforms for consultation on Canal International. We begin from the National Assembly, where 6 bills have been tabled for scrutiny in front of the members of Parliament. The bills communicated by the second Vice Speaker of the House, Honorable Miriam Boka, during a plenary this Monday. Beatrice Nkamo reports from the National Assembly on the bills that were tabled.
Among the bills communicated this Monday at the National Assembly is Bill number 2086 to ratify Ordinance number 2005/001 of July 11, 2025, amending and supplementing certain provisions of Law number 2004/013 of December 23, 2024, the Finance Law of the Republic of Cameroon for this financial year. The ordinance seeks to address economic development issues not anticipated in the aforementioned initial financial law. This includes the downward review of forecasts such as economic growth expected to be 3.9% in 2025 against an assumption of 4.1%. Inflation, which is now expected to be 3.8% against 4%. The need to clear outstanding treasury debts and issue treasury bonds estimated at 550 billion and 450 billion CFA francs respectively, the increase in the budget allocation for the rehabilitation of urban roads, among others. An amendment which would greatly impact the components of the general budget, the focus of this November and last parliamentary session for the year. There is Bill number 2087 to lay down investment incentives in the Republic of Cameroon. Generally speaking, the ordinance reaffirms government's commitment to modernize the legal framework for private-public investments to foster strong, sustainable, and inclusive growth in line with the NDS 30 objective. Focus innovations include the establishment of the instrument as the sole benchmark for productive incentives. Investments in areas such as health, education, agriculture, tourism and leisure, water and energy, transport and climate storage facilities, among others. The other bills are those on the settlement of the Republic of Cameroon for the 2024 financial year, air transport agreement with Qatar, that's to lay down rules and regulation governing organic farming in Cameroon, and the agreement with Algeria concerning mutual exemption of visa requirements for holders of diplomatic and service passports. The different debates will start at the commission level with government representatives, after which it will be brought to the plenary for general debate before their validation.
Much Beatrice Nkamo will stay in Yaoundé, where Hyacinth Chow will be telling us how candidates for the just ended presidential elections have been falling apart with political parties that actually invested them for the October 12th presidential race. In fact, while some like Hiran, Samuel Iyudi and Akeremuna went into total disagreement with the political parties' leaders during the process, the latest in the ranks is that of Jack Buga, who has finally signed his divorce certificate with the Cameroon National Citizens Movement. Hyacinthia reports.
As the saying goes, there is no permanent friend nor enemy in politics. The recent presidential election in Cameroon has proven this adage true, with several high-profile fallouts between candidates and political parties. Less than a month after the polls, Jacques Boga Hakbe resigns from the Cameroon National Citizen Movement, citing poor democratic principles and non-respect of convictions. This follows a similar situation between Ateki Seta Caxton and the Liberal Alliance Party, PAL, where Ateki's post-electoral statement urging the Constitutional Council to respect the will of Cameroonians was disavowed by the party. And on October 13, 2025, just a day after the voting, the FDC president, Denis Emilien Atangana, publicly declared support for Paul Biya, sparking controversy between the party and the invested candidate. Hiram Samuel Eyodi, the party's presidential candidate and the youngest in the race, strongly objected, reiterating his commitment to democratic principles and the need to respect the results from the polling units. Other notable fallouts include Akire Mona parting ways with Nkomvondo and the Unive Party during the heart of the process. The president of the party expressed disappointment with Akire Mona's decision to merge forces with Bello Boba and threatened legal actions. The alliance between Maurice Kamto and Manidem also ended abruptly after Kamto was disqualified from the presidential race. These developments and more highlight the fluid nature of political friendship and the primacy of interest in shaping the directions. And as the political landscape continues to shift, one thing is certain: the pursuit of power and principle drives the action of Cameroonian politicians.
Thanks very much, Hyacinthia. And Yaoundé, like many metropolises across the country, is gripped by hike in the prices of basic commodities, and despite government's assurance to make sure they want to stabilize the situation, many households are still being suffocated by the rising prices. Ati Bonaventure reports.
Market stakeholders at the Wittem Food Market salute the gradual return of supply of highly consumed food commodities, but decry exorbitant prices.
Nothing is going this country well. We are suffering in the market. This tomato will buy 10,000. 1 week, I will not. You come to the market, there will be no tomato. They will say that wait. We need a good development and a good change in this country. That's what we pray for.
The high prices has led to inflation and scarcity of products like onions, groundnuts, and beef that usually comes from northern Cameroon.
Before the bag of onions was 60,000. Now you have the bag of onions at 140,000. The price it has dropped, but not much. The price of granules have not dropped because there's only before there were much camions coming, but now it's before that's after the election. It's only one camion that have come today.
Some of the expensive products are not necessarily affected by the post-electoral crisis, as their prices usually increase when out of season.
We don't have market. Yes, and we expect that the government should do something. It's not that easy. It's not that they are not like this one. It's coming right from Congo.
The government, through the Ministry of Trade, has reassured traders and consumers that measures have been taken to ensure availability of goods of basic necessity in quality and quantity at more acceptable prices.
And after weeks of fear and silence in classroom, the town of Garoua is taking its first step towards normalcy after post-election unrest that disrupted classes in that part of the country. And of course, this was raising concerns about students' safety as we are gathering from you, Morindi.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, sir. Following weeks of tension and violence sparked by post-election unrest, the city of Garoua is slowly returning to normal, starting with its schools. The disruption had paralyzed learning for weeks, leaving students uncertain and classrooms empty. But this Monday morning marks a new chapter as hundreds of learners return to their schools across the city. Inside classrooms, both students and teachers showed renewed determination to recover lost time.
Nous rendons compte de l'effectivité de la reprise des cours ici dans certaines écoles de l'arrondissement de Garoua Premier.
Special measures have been implemented to ensure classes continue smoothly, with education officials stressing that school curriculum will be completed despite the delays. Security has been tightened around school compounds, creating a safer, more reassuring environment for learners and staff alike. Some institutions previously damaged by vandalism and arson have reopened, showing resilience and a strong will to move forward.
Je dis déjà merci parce que 90% d'élèves étaient déjà là.
Education authorities say this return sends a powerful message that Garoua's academic community remains disciplined, committed and unshaken by the crisis. In Garoua, the school bell has rung once more, sounding not only the start of a school day, but a hopeful new beginning for the city.
And in Douala, the economic capital is facing mounting sanitation emergency. Piles of uncollected waste are clogging the streets, disrupting traffic and threatening public health. Residents are now voicing very serious concerns and frustration, as you report, Salifa Saleh.
It's becoming impossible to escape piles of waste that now surround many of Douala's neighborhoods. In some neighborhoods like Entrée B, pavements have disappeared beneath heaps of waste. Under the relentless heat, waste piles fester and the air fills with suffocating odors, a toxic mix that has become part of daily life.
You cannot stay outside here for that bath here. After they will carry it, they will not even pack the dustbin.
The crisis, once thought to be under control, has returned with new force. In areas such as Pepanda and Pombo Nabasem, garbage has begun encroaching onto the roads, narrowing lanes and turning puddles into breeding grounds for disease. Residents say they are exhausted and demand urgent action. They are calling for the rehabilitation of waste collection systems, the introduction of proper sorting at the source, and concrete efforts to restore basic hygiene before the city collapses under its own pollution.
Chaque contribuable paie la taxe d'hygiène et salubrité. Mais regardez dans quel état nous nous trouvons.
For many, the situation poses a stark question about the city's future. Douala may be the beating heart of Cameroon's economy, but it is now gasping for air amid growing environmental decay.
Thanks, Maureen. Thanks very much, Sharifa Saleh. We move over to the West region, where the rise in drug trafficking across Cameroon's West region has become a great threat to public safety, as youth have taken into drug consumption, and authorities are pressured to respond with firm action, as security operatives actually struck a major one on illegal trafficking and leading to the seizure of a huge consignment of cannabis. Maureen D reports from the West region.
The growing circulation of illegal drugs remains a pressing concern in the West region of Cameroon, threatening both public health and local security. In response, law enforcement continues to step up efforts to dismantle trafficking networks. This Monday, security forces in the Noon Division intercepted a significant shipment of cannabis thanks to an intelligence tip-off. The operation underscores the strong collaboration between local communities and security personnel. While tracking a gang of 3 suspected traffickers, officers seized a 2.5 kilogram package of cannabis, a considerable haul in the ongoing fight against drug circulation.
Il y a a particular mission in this context, post-electoral context, to secure all the process. Then we continue with our traditional missions. Traditional mission which we can resume them at the security of the people and their properties and the safety of the population.
The seized package was promptly handed over to Regional Anti-Drug Commission chaired by the governor of the West Region for destruction in accordance with legal procedures. Meanwhile, the 3 suspects are now facing judicial proceedings. The tense operation also led to other arrests.
We had information coming from our informers, coming from our captors and our colleagues in the Noon Division, saying that we have 3 suspects coming with an important stock of drugs.
Law enforcement officials have reaffirmed their unwavering commitment to enforcing the law and protecting communities from the dangers of drug-related crime.
Thanks very much, Maureen, and we move over to court where Franco-Cameroonian artist Taïk has left fans in suspense after he announced that he was going to quit music come December 2025. The message is contained in his latest release, where he recounts his pedigree. Now, Sherifa Saleh is reporting that this announcement has left his fans reeling.
On a fait tout ce qu'on a prédit, oh. Ça fait long time que la cité, on l'a quitté.
Fidelity to his roots has always been Taïk's signature. In the video for Il S'appelait, the artist sits quietly in a dimly lit room, dressed in traditional Ndop fabric, while his mother cuts his hair. It's a simple yet powerful image, a symbol of renewal, of returning to where it all began. My mission is over, he declares, a line that resonates like a farewell. The track's melancholic tones, built on urban and Afro-love melodies, carry an air of gentle sorrow. It feels like both an ending and a confession, as Taïk opens his heart to his fans and contemplates the weight of his success. Still, amid the reflection and nostalgia, there is gratitude. Taïk takes time to celebrate his victories, thanking his supporters for their loyalty and for standing beside him through every triumph and challenge. Whether the track marks a farewell, a pause, or a new beginning remains uncertain. Taïk leaves just enough mystery to keep fans guessing. On December 9, 2025, he will reunite with them for a cinematic experience, a 90-minute symphonic concert revisiting his greatest hits, described as a collective response to their devotion.
Well, thanks very much, Sherifa Saleh, for that report. And of course, it's drawing the curtains for this edition of the 6:15 with me, Kejang Henry Atembi. Thanking you for being there with us. She's finally back, and it's going to be a pleasure to have her on the program to debrief the actuality. The PG will be yours in a split second. From all of us, it's goodbye.